My friend and fellow booktuber Janelle of Too Fond of Books, check out her channel below. She has a great channel. She put up a video where she was talking about a book that she liked because it had references to the 80s or the early 90s or 80s. And she said that she was a senior in high school in 1991. I'm so old. There's a picture of Queen Victoria in my yearbook. You get the Victorian reference? Aloha friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, consider subscribing because I hope to have 1,000 subscribers so I can make a community post and you can get more Razzmattazz. I like to make fun of being older, but you know, ageism is a big thing. And I think if you make fun of yourself first, then people can't hurt you. And I think jokes are good when they're in good fun and not really putting yourself down. So I hope that I'll achieve that. This week, for Weekend Reads and Razzmattazz, I'm going to talk about what I'm reading. And it's a lot because it's Victober and it's also close to Halloween where there's a lot of spooky reads going on. And I don't like thrillers that have a lot of ghost stories in them, but I do love mysteries and thrillers. So let me just tell you what I'm reading. First of all, I'm almost finished with George Eliot's Silas Marner. And yes, I did need the Cliff Notes, not for understanding the story, but it has summaries of what it really means. And I was getting a little lost. I can't say that I'm loving this book, and I might need to read it again. My problem is that I'm not connecting with Silas Marner. I'm understanding why he's like he is, but I can't connect to the character in a strong way. The way he acts is understandable, but it's not pulling me into his character yet. But I'm hoping, you know, I'm to the point, I think it's more of the second half, where his life is about to change, I guess. This is my first George Eliot, so I'm hoping to really get to more between the lines reading and not just reading it as a story. Because it's a little, if you read it straight through like I am, it's more like a sensation novel to me. And I know that there's more to it than that, that it has a lot of inner meaning and hidden meaning about life and about religion, and I want to get all that. So those are my first thoughts. It might change by the end of the month. I'm also reading, going to almost the opposite end, the national bestseller Detransition Baby, which is basically about 3 women, cisgender and transgender, who try to form a family unit. And I have to say again that this is a unique story, and this is a debut novel by Tori Peters. And she dedicates this book to divorced cis women, which I am one, but so far I'm not connecting with the writing itself. I'm connecting with the story and the authenticity of the book. But the writing is a little bit of a hindrance for me because she does go into some, what I call, unnecessarily big words, which is, you know, it could be her writing style, it could be her natural vocabulary, but it kind of puts me off. And this might not be a popular thing to say, but hey, I'm a dame, so I can say whatever I like at age 71. But so far, I'm not saying I don't like the book. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I'm not being forced into it. I don't feel like I'm propelled into the story. I keep on putting it down and picking up Silas Marner. So that tells you something. All right. So the other book that I'm trying to read is Lying in Wait by Liz Nugent. And it's a thriller. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it because, thrillers, really, they're kind of alike lately, And this goes into the past, it goes into the future, and this starts with 1980. And I'm going to read you the first line. My husband did not mean to kill Annie Doyle, but the lying tramp deserved it. Okay, I would say that's a pretty good opening. But do we really call women tramps anymore? And I don't know when this was written, but I'm pretty sure this is 2018. Okay, so basically it says it's searing, searching, scorching. Think Making a Murderer via Patricia Highsmith. Now that's pretty good praise, and that's why I picked it up, because Patricia Highsmith, she wrote a lot of good books. And yeah, I'm hoping to get to this month. So I'm thinking that, okay, I'll read you a little bit of it. On the surface, Lydia Fitzsimmons' life seems idyllic. Her husband, Andrew, is a prosperous, respected judge. They live in the spacious, comfortable, well-appointed house where she was raised. And she is utterly, obsessively devoted to her son, her adored only child. But Andrew's murder of Annie Doyle, accidentally or not, sent into motion a dark downward spiral. Okay, I don't have any experience living in that kind of comfortable lifestyle, so I don't know if I'm going to be really able to get into it, but we'll see. I mean, the setting is not as important as the story, the characters, etc. So let's see about that. Then I'm going to get to my buddy reads, and I'm having a wonderful time. Now, I've been trying to get people to read this, since I started joining BookTube, and it's How Green Was My Valley, which is, it was the winner of the National Book Award in 1949 by Richard Llewellyn. And let me just read you a little bit about it. It's a family saga, and I don't get along that well with family sagas, but this one is really, it's wonderful. And I'm reading this with Miss Sandy, MS Sandy Reads a Lot, and she's a wonderful booktuber and a wonderful person, and she's really, we're having a wonderful time with this. So How Green Was My Valley is Richard Llewellyn's classic novel of memory. Hugh Morgan, and it's spelled H-U-W, is about to leave home forever. As a huge slag heap, and I'll explain what that means, has crept down menacingly upon his childhood home, he reminisces about the golden days of his youth when South Wales still prospered, when coal dust had not yet blackened the valley. Drawn simply and lovingly with a crisp Welsh humor, Llewellyn's characters fight, love, laugh, and cry, crusting an indelible portrait of people that will live long in the reader's memory. So, when I first heard slag heap, I remember that my daughter lived in England, and slag was not a nice word for a woman. It's almost like a prostitute, but a not nice word for a prostitute. Like the W word, which I don't like to say online because in some ways I am old-fashioned, I have to say. So, the writing is in Welsh. I'm not sure if it was written in pure Welsh and then translated by Richard Llewellyn, or it just has the Welsh syntax. So I looked up what the Welsh syntax was. And it says that it's an insular Celtic language, and it's heavily right-branching, including a verb, subject, object, word order. And the verb for be is crucial to constructing different kinds of clauses. And any verb may be inflected for three tenses: preterite, future, and unreality. Okay, I'm not the best person with grammar. But I tell you that when you read it, after I would give you a page and you will understand what it means. Especially, I speak Spanish, and a lot of times even how green was my valley is a example of my valley was green. One time my valley was green. So that'll give you an idea. I'm loving this. So anyway, the slag heap is what's left over from the coal after it burns. And so there's a lot of present. I can't imagine. I mean, I was very surprised to learn how much this brings us into our present with climate change, etc., and what people do to the earth, and what people did to the earth even then, and coal miners, and love affairs, and you have it. But it's a wonderful book, and I'm enjoying it. My other buddy read, I haven't started yet. I did read the first chapter, so I did start it. And it's with Alba from Seriela, a fellow Puerto Rican booktuber. And we're reading Edna O'Brien, The Country Girls, and we're in the second part, and it has two names. It's either The Girl with the Green Eyes or The Lonely Girl. And I love this book so much, and thank you to Sean at The Book Maniac for introducing me to Edna O'Brien. I love Irish. Ever since I read Frank McCourt and Angela's Ashes, I've been really into the Irish voice, the Irish storyteller's voice. And Edna O'Brien really has that she has that. And I read the first page, and I'm already back into these lives of these two girls who are in the 1950s, and I'll have more when I'm more into that. And Alba is a wonderful booktuber. She's being very patient with me, so thank you, Alba. And I hope to be reading with her as soon as I finish my reading of Silas Marner. I'm going to start The Woman in White. In fact, tonight and this weekend, I'm going to be reading a plenty of The Woman in White and The Country Girls. I don't know if I'm going to get to the thriller. I'm going to wait for that, but I have a lot of other books. But I hope you enjoy this quick weekend reads and razzmatazz. And please hit the notification bell for more baby boomer booktuber stuff. So until we meet again, my friends, aloha.